Hello, hello. Just checking my voice
Hello,
and,
Dr. Mark.
Hello.
and my not so brilliant picture, but you will survive with me for next 15 minutes,
No,
hour and a half. Yeah, you will survive. No worries.
how are you?
Good, good, good. A bit of sore throat, which makes my
Oh,
traditionally unpleasant voice to be even more unpleasant. But okay, as I told you, you'll need to live with it. It's gonna be
no,
nice.
not sure.
Yeah, let me just test screen sharing before you start letting the guys in.
Of course.
Perfect.
Wait, not yet. Now should be perfect.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
cool.
all great?
All good, all good, all good, all fine, all well. So, ready when you are. I mean,
Okay.
so what's the plan? You will let the guys in at some point now when we start. Then you will give a short introduction, brief introduction about myself, if I understood well, and about the training. And then I'll take it over from there. Just one question. Uh, can the guys write in the chat and write their comments?
Yes, yes.
That's important. Yeah. Okay. Another thing, keep everyone muted and also assign me host rights. Or no, you don't have to because I can share the content even without host rights. So it's okay. Yeah.
Yes, yes, no problem. No need for that.
Cool.
Because
Cool. Just make sure.
I will still host now. I will still host now to admit all the participants. Okay?
I'm fine with it. Yeah, I will just switch my video off and wait for them. Once I hear Ilona speaking and
Hmm.
welcoming the participants, I will turn on and I'll get in the picture.
Okay.
Don't worry. Yeah.
Okay, I
Okay.
will
Thank you.
admit now all the participant waiting
How,
list. Okay?
how
Yeah,
many
yeah,
do we have, Osama? How many do we have?
We have for 55 now.
by
Oh,
now.
good.
Okay,
Nice.
so my suggestion is to wait maybe for 5 more minutes to see
Yes,
because
yes.
probably some people will join a few minutes
Yes.
after. But if
I
we
agree.
have 55 in the pipeline beforehand, then probably we will cross it. Let's see. Okay.
Perfect.
Hi.
Good morning, everyone, and a very warm welcome to today's webinar, The Core Management and Leadership Principles. I'm delighted to see so many of you joining us today for this session from around the world. My name is Ilona. I'm a training and marketing coordinator at London Premier Centre and will be hosting today's session. And now, before we start, just a small request. Please make sure you keep your microphones muted unless you're speaking. And please do use the chat for any questions, any thoughts, or just interaction with each other. We encourage this. Now, without any further delays, it's my pleasure to hand over to our speaker and expert, Dr. Marko Selakovic. Over to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ilona. Good afternoon from Dubai. I see in the chat that we are having people from at least 3 continents. So I see people from Europe, from Asia, from Africa. Maybe we have someone from Australia and from Americas. If there are people from those 2 continents, please let us know. But first and foremost, it is my pleasure to welcome all of you and to say that the world nowadays is significantly different than it used to be. Just imagine 10 years ago, would it be possible to have all these people from all these geographies at a single place like this? And once more, thanks LPC for organizing this and for making this possible and for connecting all of us here in the room. For all those whose teams are competing on the World Cup, I wish the best of luck. I see some people whose countries unfortunately did not qualify, but I also see some countries which are out of competition and some countries that are still in the competition. So good luck and all the best to those who are still competing for the World Cup. My name is Dr. Marko Selakovic, and I'm living and working in Dubai as a university professor and consultant for the last 11 years. Prior to this, I worked across Europe, born and grown in Serbia, and always proud to be Serbian. You know, this is my home country and will be wherever I am in life. So the topic of the day is to discuss a bit about core management and leadership principles. And it is always a challenging task to try to squeeze this topic in a bit more than 1 hour of time, because there are so many things happening around us, and there are so many changes in the world around us we need to embrace as leaders and as managers. And I would encourage you to participate actively in the discussion. I already see the chat box very active, and I encourage you to keep writing your insights, your comments, your suggestions, answers to a couple of questions. I will try to make the session as interactive as possible, you know, to actually engage you and to hear also your thoughts. And my humble request, I don't know if it is possible or not, Ilona, maybe you can use the chat, is to share eventually presentation after the session with the participants. So if it is possible, it would be great, because I will also include couple of links that can be useful learning tools and useful food for thought for all the people who are following this webinar. So to make sure that we are on track and we do not take too much of everyone's time, I will immediately start sharing my screen and sharing the presentation, and let me guide you through the presentation. Of course, the first slide is title of this webinar, and it is quite obvious. So it is core leadership and management principles. And I hope you can see my screen now clearly and you can hear me loudly.
Yes.
Okay, good. So let me start with a bit of bragging. The question is, why should I be the one who is now sitting in front of 144 right now and counting people, probably crossing 150 by the end of this webinar? And why I'm the one who is talking to you about these principles? So one important thing is that I'm just an old guy. Not only I'm university professor, I'm professor and deputy director at SP Jain School of Global Management, which is one of leading business schools in Asia Pacific, but also for more than 20 years. And I need to update actually this slide because this year marks exactly 25 years of managing and leading different teams, organizations, and people from very complex systems, government entities, international organizations, to small-scale startups. I'm also chairman of Serbian Business Council, responsible for business, trade, and investment cooperation between Serbia and UAE, and setting grounds for presence of more than 300 Serbian companies now in the United Arab Emirates. When it comes to complex leadership, I was in charge of Expo 2020 Serbia Business Program, which was the biggest business program of the Republic of Serbia in its history, with more than 1,270 business people, 9 business delegations, 5 investment conferences, more than 10,000 business contacts, 40 plus signed contracts, resulting in increase of bilateral trade year on year of 42%, only with UAE, plus other countries involved in Expo. But not only that, I'm also dealing with the future. So I'm part of a global strategic communication consortium, which is actually trying to anticipate future movements when it comes to strategic communication on the global scale, and also used to be vice president of the East-West Bridge, which is actually trying at policy level to connect East and West. But if you would Google search me or YouTube search me, don't be surprised if you see some music articles and pieces, because I used to be a professional drummer, and still you can find some traces of my professional drumming over there. Still I'm doing it, but unfortunately not as much as I could. On the side, you can see my picture without this funny hair and beard and mustache. So in case I shave and cut my hair again, you can recognize me if you see me somewhere on the street across the globe. And basically, I already told you that the world is significantly different than it used to be just a few years ago. And many of you might be familiar with the concept of VUCA world. VUCA is abbreviation for volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. And for decades, since the Cold War, we used abbreviation VUCA to describe the world around us and to describe a lot of global things and phenomena that were emerging around. But nowadays, especially after COVID, the world evolved into something with completely novel perspective and with completely different and more accurate description of the current situation and causes. And because we are all in business, I believe I don't need to explain you too much how difficult it is to predict and anticipate anything in the world right now. Who can predict what Trump is going to do tomorrow? Who can predict what China is going to do on the plan of economic development? Who can say with 100% guarantee that Middle East will be stable? Who can say if Europe will keep struggling or not? So it is impossible now to predict the things. And this is why we are going from the zone of volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity into something completely new. And this is, as we said, so-called BANI world. So BANI is abbreviation that stands for brittle, anxious, non-linear, and incomprehensible. And let me just take 1 minute of my time and your time to explain each of those phenomena. When we say brittle, normally we knew in the world before what is strong, what is with long tradition is with long tradition, what has legacy, what has power, it has power. It used to be the world around us. But ladies and gentlemen, not anymore. Who could imagine, just go in your minds back 10 years, going to 2016. In 2016, who could imagine that UK will be having double-digit billion budget deficit? Who could imagine that banking giants like Credit Suisse, which lasts for centuries, or Silicon Valley Bank, that was backing the strongest, the biggest, the most powerful IT companies in the world, are going to collapse? Who could imagine that Middle Eastern countries, some Middle Eastern countries, will struggle to pick up after short war and strikes that were happening recently? I'll tell you what is the secret. You may have legacy, you may have power, but at the same time, if you are not agile enough to adapt and to embrace the new trends, the new momentum, and to address the challenges around you, then you may easily crack under pressure of the events. UK went into Brexit easily. They said, okay, we have our traditional network, we have Commonwealth, we have colonies, former colonies, so we will rebuild. We don't need Europe. And then COVID came, the whole logistic was stopped, and their budget collapsed. Credit Suisse was saying, we are having hundreds of years of legacy. We will manage to maintain our reputation. Other banks came with better offers and took the deposits out from them. So you need to be super agile, and you need to build your internal structures. If you do not build your internal structures to be strong, to be resilient, and to be agile, then there is high risk that you will crack under the pressure. Another phenomenon is anxiety. I don't think I need to explain it too much. I believe we all feel it, both on individual level and on the corporate level. On individual level, just look at the impact of all the things that are happening. Lockdown, wars, instabilities, difficult economies. All this makes us to be more anxious and to be more conscious and more cautious when it comes to development, investment, and so on. And corporations are no different. I recall, and I see that we are having a lot of people from Africa. So you may recall 7, 8, 10 years ago, how enthusiastic were international companies when they were coming to Africa. They were immediately taking multi-story buildings, hiring hundreds or thousands of people, having big plans for development and so on. Now, they are still coming, but they are coming step by step. Why? Because they are afraid of a fail. And they are more anxious to take risks. Because the world around them teaches them that not every risk pays back. So anxiety we have on individual level, and we have on the corporate and investment level. Very important, very relevant is non-linearity. The world before was very clear. Major event implies major impact. Minor event implies minor impact. Not anymore. A minor event can cause major impact, and I will give you example. When ship got stuck in Suez Canal 4-5 years ago, you recall probably that. The ship got stuck for 4 days, and it blocked Suez Canal for 4 days. So it slowed down logistical route to Africa, to Middle East, to Indian Ocean. And normally it would be minor disruption. There will be some slowdowns, maybe some perishables will be lost, maybe someone will have a small delay in the production process. Insurance companies would not be happy, of course, but nothing major would happen. However, what was the reality? In reality, all the costs of logistics and freight forwarding went up 200 to 300% because of this, very much contributing to occurrence of global inflation in 2022 and 2023. Because if you increase the cost of transportation and freight forwarding, final cost of your product or service will be higher. And this is how minor thing created major impact. On the opposite side, we are having for 2.5 years, we are having war in Gaza. We are facing not only war in Gaza, we are facing hostilities between Iran and Israel. We are facing threats for the ships on some of the main oil trading routes. And at the same time, until Iran retaliation towards Middle East, what happened with the oil prices? Nothing. Despite increased risk, despite major development there and very unfortunate developments for all the people there, Nothing happened substantially with the oil price until that moment. So even major event does not necessarily mean there will be major impact. And this kind of nonlinearity makes planning more difficult. Or just recall when COVID came, we had to tear up literally all our plans, all our strategic documents, and we had to change our approach. And last thing, which is important to understand the context in which we need to lead and manage, is that the world becomes literally incomprehensible. We could not even imagine or think or comprehend the things happening around us. And I will give you a simple explanation. Just 6 months ago, who could imagine that Dubai will be attacked by thousands of missiles? The safest city in the world with more than 80,000 billionaires with God knows how many billions of dollars of capital inside. Who could even think about it? And then let me give you another very important example. Let's be honest between us. 5 years ago, who could even think about generative AI, about ChatGPT, about Midjourney, and about the fact that it will become capable to take over most of the administrative tasks? I will not run for the sake of saving time. I will not run the survey now between us, but I bet that at least 50% of people here in this virtual room is using ChatGPT on daily basis. And I bet 100% of people, including myself, did not even think about ChatGPT 5 years ago. Thank you, Ali, for this. So the question for all of you, and please feel free to write your responses. Very simple, yes or no. We have AI around us, growing and running up. At the same time, we have the world which looks as it does, which is BANI world. So are we capable to anticipate the future, how the future is going to look like? I already see the first few responses, and I see a bit mixed response. I see yes, I see no. So just reply yes or no. Let me see your opinions. And as you can see, not totally, not 100%. So, and just see your responses now. If Ilona, I hope all the participants have access to the chat. Yeah.
Yes, everyone
Good.
has.
So you can check. You can also check your very own responses in the chat box, and you will see that it is totally mixed. But not too many people say that you can 100% anticipate the future. Some people say 60%, some people say 70%. Some people suggest that, yes, you can using the trend analysis. Trend analysis, let me immediately address this, can help, but cannot anticipate. I'll give you an example of Dubai. You can do the best trend analysis in the world. You could not capture what could happen if Iranians attack Dubai. And no trend analysis would help you to understand how Dubai will respond to this. So it is very, very complex nowadays to even try to anticipate the future. Another thing, the human touch and explicit cognitive presence remain due. Very good point, Dr. Saleh. I'll tell you why. Because technology is developing faster than humanity. And this is another thing we have to keep in mind as leaders of now and leaders of future. Technology loop is becoming faster than human brain. So what's the point? The point is in human in the loop. I don't see the name, but leaders of tomorrow will be the ones actively scaling tools to maximize efficiency and innovation right now. Yes, absolutely. And aim of today's session is to guide you through a few things that can help us to get ready for the future and to apply and implement some key principles. And I will try to finish our sessions with some action items, action tools, and some good tips for leadership in BANI world, which is around us. You may be, yes, absolutely, Dr. Ambrin, human judgment, ethics, and empathy will remain essential. This is why we need, by the way, off topic. As a humanity, we need to remember that technology is here to complement the humanity and not to compete with humanity. And humans are ones who hold the button. Humans are the ones who should control the technology, not the technology controlling humans. And this is absolutely principle which I vouch for and why we need to develop our capabilities and our skills to be able not only to embrace the technology, but also to understand the whole process. So you may be confused because usually we are talking about leadership or about management. And you may be surprised why the topic is leadership and management principles. Because terms leadership and management are different. I gave you here definition from Oxford Dictionary. To lead is to guide on a way, especially by going in advance. So leadership includes vision, whereas management includes capability, because to manage is to handle or direct with a degree skill. Some people are at the same time good leaders and good managers. Some people are good leaders, but not so good managers. Whereas some people are very good managers or even outstanding managers, but with very limited leadership skills. Because simply those two concepts, and you can see it from semantic of both terms, those two principles substantially differ. Leadership, again, equals vision, management equals ability. And the question for you, let's use chat box again. Who is for you the greatest leader of all times? Take 1 minute and think for yourself. It does not have to be from business. It can be from anywhere. Politics, business, sports, entertainment, arts, humanity, religion. Let's see. I'm waiting for your responses. First ones are already here in the loop. Okay. We have Jesus, we have Prophet Muhammad. Prophet Muhammad, Jesus, yeah. Alexander the Great, interesting perspective. Messi. Okay, Prophet Muhammad again. You can see that most of you have chosen religious leaders. We have a couple of different opinions, and I am still waiting to see other opinions. So I'm giving you a bit more time. And let me comment it a little bit. And we have two very interesting answers. So why majority of people have put religious leaders such as Prophet Muhammad or Jesus? And the answer is, by the way, fair. Because those who established particular religions are responsible not only for building a huge followership of the religion, but also for establishing core principles of life, which are real leadership principles. Just think about core principles of any religion. Ebenezer, can you please just mute yourself? Ebenezer, bro. Yeah, thank you. So, core principles of religion, any religion, are good principles for humanity. Look at preamble of Holy Quran. The black is not better because he is black, and white is not better because he is white. Humans should help each other. Look at 10 core principles of Christianity. Again, good things. Love, faith, and hope. So yes, it is about leadership. And yes, it is subjective. And we have a lot of great leaders across the globe. Some of them are mentioned here. Alexander the Great, probably on the military field, given what he achieved, one of the greatest, if not greatest of all times. Mahatma Gandhi, again, proving point what you can achieve with perseverance, with resilience, and with peaceful resistance, and with wisdom. John Maxwell, yes. Nelson Mandela, same story. Shalmunga, yeah. Machiavelli was, for me, was analyzing the principles of leadership in the right way. Lee Kuan Yew, in the middle of nowhere, from micro territory, he made one of the most developed economies in the world. Leo Messi, yes, he is a great leader. Again, people follow him and support him religiously. We have Kumui, yes. Great names. Just go, Kofi Annan. Just go through the list and think about each of the names you have put inside. Great people, great names, great contributions to the humanity. But very interestingly, what is common point for all these people? For all these people, common points are rightly listed that they have vision, they have their personal sacrifice, most of them. They have highly ethical attitudes, and they led to the transformation and to new achievements. Irrespective if we are talking business, if we are talking politics, if we are talking religion, if we are talking statesmanship, whatever dimension we take, they are transformative. They change people's perspectives, people's lives. Kwame Nkrumah, for example, you just mentioned him. Look how brave was in 1961, immediately after independence, to go into formation of non-aligned movement when the whole world was divided into two blocks, East and West. Genghis Khan, amazing examples here, amazing examples. So I encourage all of you to go through the list and to think about it. And almost all of them reached the highest level of leadership, which is described here. Leadership has 5 levels. Level 1 is highly capable individual. Highly capable individual can perform some tasks very well, but cannot mobilize too many people. Second level, by the way, I would just suggest AB Mohammed to try not to write over the screen because I see a few blue lines around on my screen. I don't know if you see them. So second point is to have contributing team member who is contributing to the success. The third one is competent manager. So the best when it comes to the skills. Level 4 is effective leader. But only level 5 is a true leader. And what do you think? What makes difference between effective leader and true leader or the real executive? What do you think? What is the element that makes distinction? No worries, AB, it happens. So thanks. What do you think? What makes the difference? Listening the people and being humble. Humility and empathy, as Ali rightly wrote, make difference. So humility is the highest level. You can sacrifice as effective leader, even as competent manager, even as a team member, as a highly capable individual. So you can sacrifice on all levels. But the real leader is humble and empathetic. I will not place distance from the followers. Depends. If you are too far from the people you lead, how will you know the reality? Then you have to rely on your associates. And what if your associates do not tell you the truth because of their own interests or priorities? So yes, a true leader needs to combine all these elements, but to go to the level 5, you need humility, impartiality, vision, empathy. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Humility helps us keep learning. Empathy helps us make better decisions. and have always insight what the people really need, which is critical for successful leadership. I will give you in the materials, again, for the sake of time, and I want to leave some time also for some discussion. I am leaving you one article about humility, and I will give you two good YouTube videos from JRD Tata, who is founding father of Tata Group, one of biggest Indian companies, where you will have 10 very important thoughts about leadership. And also you will have a bit about his philosophy and his approach, which was oriented towards building the consensus. When it comes to removing annotations, let me give one try. So I will try to stop sharing. Just give me a second. And if I stop sharing, then annotations are off. We are already crossed 200 people, and I have humble request to share those links also here. So I'll just do it before we carry on with the presentation. So give me 1 second to copy links in the chat box so you can use them. So here is article about level 5 leadership, which is telling a bit more about humility. And I'm now sharing two useful videos, two good lessons from JRD Tata, which you can watch later. But it will also be included, because I see the question in the chat box, it will be included in the presentation, and presentation will be shared with everyone. So here are the links. Now I'm getting back to the presentation, and hopefully annotations are removed. Let me see. Just a second. Yeah, here it is. Probably it will reset me to the beginning, but okay, it's fine. One of the main things for the leader is to unlock the potential of its people and to maximize their outputs by creating a good atmosphere, a good workplace in which people can really thrive and bring the best. And here are some principles of how solid leaders create a creative organization and workplace in which people can maximize their potential. Very importantly, they do not celebrate only organizational achievements. They celebrate people and their work. Another thing, they are ready to defend the interests of their people in front of third party. They push people to collaborate. They do set the deadlines, but deadlines are realistic. So it does not only create pressure, but also leave space for creativity. Encourage people to take risks in a proper way. And foster innovative culture, learning, and mentoring or teaching. So all these elements are actually elements which are responsibility of the leader. And now the question is how to build such a climate inside the organization. You have to not only encourage people, you have to challenge them. You have to give them tasks to say, you can do it. And then give them freedom. Don't micromanage them. Many managers, when it comes to management now, not leadership, make a mistake by trying to micromanage people how to do the things. Be supportive to the ideas that can contribute to the whole process. Ahmed Atahiru, please mute yourself. Thank you. Ahmed. Yeah, thanks. Also, trust your people. Check them, but also trust them. Ensure that it's not boring. Ensure that there is dynamism and that people can play. Ensure polite debates without undermining of anyone's authority. Solve conflicts. Let conflicts happen. Let the conflicts happen, but solve them. Sort them out. Give time to the ideas and take the risks. Frank, it would be great if you can type the question in, I see raised hand from Frank Patrick Izovo. So please type your question in the chat box. And we have very important comment here on the side from Amna that challenging people, trusting them, and giving them freedom to work without micromanagement. Absolutely. Completely in line with what we just elaborated. This will not only open creative potential of the people, but also encourage the people to be open and fair with you. And what you need to manage are clear KPIs and your skills. But what you need to lead is to have good feedback about your vision. Are you going in the right direction? And people are the ones who can actually give you a feedback. Is it good way or not? And you can encourage two ways of thinking. One is convergent, where you have number of different facts, and based on the facts, you come to the conclusion. Or divergent, where you have a problem, and then you think about the alternatives. Vice managers encourage team members to use both ways of thinking, both convergent and divergent. Why? Because sometimes when we open new alternatives, we can see new and better solutions. And sometimes when we open more and more facts, we can maybe see all the facets of chosen solution in a better way. So vice managers actually stimulate people to think in both ways, and then from lateral thinking, all these wonderful solutions, innovations, and developments happen. If you try to stick only to one way of thinking, it will limit you. So you need not only you, but also your people need to use both to actually be capable to address any kind of challenge. And achieving this is a matter of good and strong training and good and strong development inside the organization. And this is very, very important for the future. Otherwise, in the world around us, if we do not deploy lateral thinking, which uses both logic and imagination, it is extremely, extremely difficult to anticipate the future, as we just discussed. And how do we finally do it? When we have something new around us, first we capture the thoughts. We talk with the people, think on ourselves, talk to the others, and capture what makes sense and what resonates well with the challenge. And then many people can have many different ideas, different thoughts. So we need to organize it and to say, okay, this is what is possible, this is what is not possible. So we organize the ideas. Once we organize the ideas, the next step is to distill, to prioritize and find what is most important. And then finally we go into action and we show the actual work and the actual outcomes of our progress based on this. So you need to follow this kind of code model: capture, organize, distill, express, to unlock full creative potential of the people we are having in the room. And just think about it. It's very, very easy to say and difficult to achieve. Because to achieve this, you need people to trust you. You need people to talk to you. And you need people to discuss the things, ideas, thoughts, concerns, whatever it is, to discuss it with you. If they are closed, if they do not discuss, how will you capture the best ideas that resonate? So trust building, you see how everything is connected, is critical for successful leadership and for successful management. Both things equally important. And then when we have done something new and we want to create a change in the system, we are going through a cycle of change management, which always starts, as you can see on the screen, with a sense of urgency. Why the change needs to happen and why it needs to happen now. So it's not enough to explain why the change needs to happen. You also need to explain why the change needs to happen now. And then based on this, you build the guiding coalition. So you will consult with some people above you or under you who are able to streamline your idea together with you. And then form strategic vision. What will be the outcome once change happens? And after that, you pick the people who will work with you on the change. And then one thing which always happens is to have barriers. Sometimes we have institutional barriers. Sometimes we are having legal barriers. Sometimes we are having human factor. People do not want to change. How many times you heard, I'm doing the things this way for so long, why should I change it now? So you need to show the people that change is good for them. So you need to create some short-term wins after you remove the barriers. And then you need to keep the speed of changes and then transfer the change into the system. And remember this very well. Only constant thing in management is change. Always, 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 we need to change. We change system, product, services, people, employees, behaviors, beliefs, attitudes, policies, procedures, whatever. Constant thing is change. And this is why this cycle of change, which I shared with you, is extremely important. Yes, Victor, I do it. And this is why you have to do the things in the right and appropriate way. And why you need to make change to be systemic, not one-off. Because what is changed today, especially in the BANI world around us, may become normal tomorrow. Before I go to the next slide, I see a few inquiries to get in contact. So presentation slides will be shared. And also for any kind of engagement and follow-ups, please be in touch with the LP Center, with London Premier Center. I'll be more than happy to be at disposal. And once everything is sorted, you can count on me there. Let me go to the next. By the way, just a humble request to the colleagues from London Premier Center to stay in touch with all the people, because we have a lot of queries for future cooperation, and please make sure that we are on it. So I promised you, and we are entering in the final stage, because I want to leave also some 10-15 minutes for the discussion and for your feedback. Now moving into action items. How to successfully lead and manage in the world around us. We spoke about the world. We spoke about some challenges. We spoke about some good examples. We spoke about some core elements and core principles. So I tried to sum up the things and to offer a recap, which will be a reminder for you for your future development as leaders and managers of the future. One, we need to embrace the technology, not to be afraid of the technology. We should accept and embrace the technology, but as we already spoke, we should understand what is the role of the technology and what is the role of humans. Humans are the key. Second, in the world which is not linear and which is very brittle and very incomprehensible and surprising by all means, we need to focus to identify high-value opportunities. So we need to keep our eyes open, understand where is the opportunity. Because new spaces, new technologies, new developments appear every day. And to make sure that we can identify the opportunities, we need to be future ready. We need to think about the future. And we need to be ready for whatever change in the future. And to be future ready, because everything is moving so fast, we need continuously to upskill ourselves. I'm learning as university professor, as PhD, as very respected expert. I'm learning every day. Please learn every day and upskill and improve your capacities on daily basis whenever you have chance. Sometimes it goes through training programs, sometimes it goes through consultancy, sometimes it goes through your experience, through your work, through your reading. Work on yourselves to be not only better managers and leaders, but also better human beings every day. Because in the humanity, when we believe in the right of good and in the right of God, the race for excellence has no finish line. We are imperfect, and we should tend for perfection in order to reach excellence. And all this will make us able to navigate through complex decisions, heavy decisions, and heavy situations which the world around us can create. So, to recap again and give you some priority areas for the development. To address brittleness, we need to develop resilience. We need to develop our capacities. To address anxiety of people and organizations, we need to work on the empathy. We need to work on the mindfulness. To address challenges of non-linear world, we need to be adaptive, and we need to understand the context. And to address the incomprehensible, we need to be transparent and we need to be intuitive. AI, I have a comment here in the chat about AI automation and workflow to understand how AI can help businesses operate seamlessly. I like your formulation. AI can help, but it does not always help. Depends on two things. First, how people are using AI. You can use AI for good, you can use AI for bad. So first thing is to make sure AI helps you to predict, to analyze, to dig the data, to automate some routine tasks. And there is a lot of research now on hyper automation and what is enabled by artificial intelligence. So this is one important aspect. Another important aspect is to understand that AI does not have human capability of creative thinking. AI is as good as its data set. So very important is to understand what are the data with which you feed artificial intelligence. Because if inputs are wrong, outputs done by AI will also be wrong. This is why we are always putting human in the loop to ensure ethical use and to ensure accuracy of data, outputs, and conclusions of the artificial intelligence. I hope this helps actually in addressing a little bit about this question. And it is very, very good point and very important to develop our skills to understand actually how AI can help businesses and what is the right way to use AI to help businesses grow and thrive. Now, to recap, we completed from the management perspective. Now I will give you from a leadership perspective. We have to embrace and adopt agile approach. We need to foster inclusivity so no one is left behind. And we need, again, very important, especially now in the context of this discussion with the AI, we need to promote validation. So we need to validate and verify the new things we are doing, the changes we embrace, the achievements we reach, the conclusions we go through. All this needs to be not only validated, but also promoted. As we are nearing the end of the webinar, it's not done yet, though. I see in the chat box, I see the link for feedback and suggestions. So please feel free to fill up the feedback form. Tell us if this was useful for you, if you liked not only webinar, but also approach. Luckily, I hope you did not put a question about my voice, because then it will drag marks down. But anyway, please feel free to complete and fill up the survey and give us some insights what could be good for the future. Frank, I see raised hand again. We are nearing the end. After we finish the presentation, when we come to questions, I will open room for some questions. So one important thing for the end. This is Michael Jordan, probably the best basketball player of all times. Look at this statement. He missed more than 9,000 shots in the career, lost almost 300 games. 26 times he missed the winner shot, which could make a difference between winning and losing. He kept failing over and over and over in life. And this is why he is greatest of all times. Success is result of continuous development, resilience, perseverance. And let me just remind you, when we lead or manage anything, we have a lot of ups and downs. Not everything goes up. It is rather a curve going up, down, up, down, up, down. The real success is in two things. Number one, to keep the trend growing up. And number two, when there is a setback, don't be afraid of a setback. Be strong enough to raise, remove the dust, and continue your journey to the success. I will also now share this link for feedback. You can also scan QR code or fill it in survey. So you have easier for everyone. You have in the chat box, you have this link, so you can fill up the survey properly. So now I would like to stop sharing and to give you sincere and huge thanks for not only great participation. We are having almost 230 people. Now we have nearing the end of the webinar, we are having 227 people, which is amazing from my perspective. And it was a privilege to exchange. Just look at the chat box, to exchange so many thoughts together throughout these sessions. I will now take a few questions that emerged here and address them as quickly as possible. So, Bio had a question for an aspiring leadership consultant. Please advise on how to build weight. Too many things are coming. So give me a second to open chat in a separate screen so I can go through. So, Bio, let me go back to your question. Please advise on the way to build relevant capacity. For leadership consultancy, there are a few things. First, you have to have experience. So you have to have things hands-on. Second, you need to know how to communicate with C-suite. You need to know how to approach them. You need to know how to address them. So communication skills are very important. And third, you need to be very well organized. So time management is also very, very important aspect to keep in mind. Plus, of course, as we spoke, upskilling yourself so you can really be up to the level when it comes to the challenges. Aisha had a question. In your opinion, what is the most common leadership mistake managers make when they focus on task but neglect people development? Aisha, you have just answered the question in the best possible way. There is no long-term success without people's development. And I saw in 25 years of my career, I saw many managers who had short-term successes, big results, and then ending up being redundant after a year or two because they think that success belongs only to them. If organization grows, if targets go up, KPIs go up, then your people also need to go up in order to reach the new level of success. So the most common mistake is that they overlook the people and their developmental needs. Because it is same like, for example, I don't know, high jump. Maybe you can easily jump 1 meter and 50 high. But to jump 2 meters, you need to train. To jump 220, you need to train professionally. To jump 240, you have to have talent, you have to have amazing team, and you have to have amazing training and a lot of things in place. So if you do not develop your people, you can be a wonderful, record-breaking manager, you will not last. I hope this answers your question. Let me see some other points, if there are. How do we locate or possibly build a strong team using limited resources? Well, you have a couple of techniques for this. One effective technique is to spot the talent early And to be able to spot the talent early, you need to know what skill set of team members you require. Once you know whom exactly do you require in the team, then you can fly and you can actually go and build a team. So recruit talent early. Second, create atmosphere. Very important. Create atmosphere. This is why I said celebrate success and team members. Create the atmosphere in which people are appreciated. If people are appreciated, they will be reluctant to leave the organization, even if they are offered with more money, if they know that they will not be appreciated elsewhere. Because appreciation is not only financial, appreciation is the way how you treat the people. Appreciation is the way how you communicate with the people. Appreciation is the way how you help them overcome their challenges in life. All this. So please keep it in mind and please try. I know that there are a lot of restrictions, a lot of limitations. Try your best to analyze what you need, map the capabilities, and then to take it forward from there. Abimbola has a question. How do you balance empowering team members through delegation while maintaining accountability and performance standards, especially in high-pressure project environments? Good question. Very interesting question. You need to delegate the tasks, especially when you have high pressure, because otherwise you will, you cannot multiply yourself into 3 copies. So you will end up working as a beast if you do not delegate. The whole point is in being, from my experience, is to be fair and to communicate expectations clearly. So not only to assign accountability, but also to communicate expectations and to say one more important thing, it is, I am there for you should you be having any doubts. So you need not only to lead by example, but also to deploy so-called coaching leadership, where you may delegate the task, but you still need to be there to give some clarification to the team members, to explain them how to do the things, why they need to embrace certain approach, why they need to comply with certain performance standards, and that would be the way to actually balance through delegation. So you check on their work, you do not micromanage, and you ensure that expectations are communicated clearly in advance, and you are there to guide them if they get confused. That means they should not have fear from you. They should respect you, but they should not have fear from you. Because fear is one of the biggest enemies of good leaders. Strategies for leaders who want to move from reactive management style to more proactive and developmental leadership approach. One important thing here, you need to communicate with people regularly. First and foremost would be to have at least weekly meetings with brainstorming, where you can pick brains of your team members and understand what are areas and rooms for development they see. Then you need to take risk. I spoke about risk taking. Maybe I would speak, if I would have more time, I would speak more about risk taking. So let me add a sentence or two here. To move towards proactive and developmental, you need not only to pick brains of the people, but also to take accountability and risk and to say, okay, this might be a good idea. Let's work on it and let's see where it will take us. So I hope this helps, Aisha, to address your question very briefly. Role of leadership in delivering successful projects, Ibrahim, all together, end-to-end, leadership plus people deliver the projects. The most important thing, as we already spoke, is clarity, right allocation of tasks, right allocation of people, making atmosphere of shared responsibility and shared success, whereas at the same time, we all know who is doing what. How can leaders move beyond managing day-to-day operations and instead build a sustainable culture of performance, learning, continuous development? I think we quite addressed this. The secret is in communication. So actually, the way how you lead the team and how you treat the people makes a difference. Plus, of course, you may embed certain KPIs that are related to continuous development and learning. This also helps because some people, they do not want to learn. They say, okay, I'm doing my job, I am good enough, and I don't want to change. So it may also help to do this. Let me see, Tufik. Multicultural and multidisciplinary team. Leading by example depends upon cultures. Sometimes different cultures have different understanding. Good tool for this are Hofstede's dimensions of culture, which help you to understand each and every culture. The right approach for me is mix of leading by example, visionary leadership, and coaching leadership. Because if you have multicultural, multidisciplinary team, their understanding might be different than your understanding. So you need to ensure that all expectations are set clearly. You show them how you work, but also you lead them, you guide them, you fine-tune them, and you share with them vision that they embrace. Another good style is affiliative leadership, where you build the atmosphere of shared success and you celebrate successes together with the team, creating the atmosphere of one team and one family, but it is not always possible. Bako is asking how to get immune of rejection and open confrontation, especially when you are bringing a new leadership idea amongst people who think they know way more than you. Very interesting and good question also. I love your questions. So bad that we will need to wrap up in 3-4 minutes. So I'll try to give quick response. Stay resilient. People may reject your idea, but good ideas pass test of time. So those who reject your idea, if the time shows they are wrong, all the arguments are in your head. Then you bring idea again to the table. You say, look, I proposed. You said no. You see the outcome. Now we need to do what I say. Simple. That's the way. Otherwise, there is no universal recipe for this. Because vanity of the people is big enemy very often. So there is no universal answer. You need to follow them, to understand them, to go into nitty-gritties of their mindset, and then maybe play through this. Across board, how do you manage competency with sincerity in a challenging time? Samson is asking. In one sentence, the way is to be frank and realistic. Assess the capacities sincerely and say, what do you need to address all this? What does it take to have you speak to a local virtual audience if invited to do so? Again, through LP Center, happy to discuss it. Abimbola, how do you balance through delegation? We answered this one. Very detailed, thank you. How should leaders adapt their management style when leading diverse multi-generational teams? Similar answer to what I just provided, I think, to Tufik, who was asking the question about multicultural. Same principle applies. So you need to mix your different leaderships. How can an exceptional professional win the corporate politics? Matthew, you cannot always win. Some wins you will win by facts and by showcasing, as I explained already. I think to Abimbola, I don't recall who was asking the question, when I explained how to cope with the rejection. So you can win some things, but you cannot always win. Sometimes politics, internal politics, are stronger than us. Fate of the organization topic depends. I would definitely say that organization that does not embrace the qualities but thrives in financial outputs, it may have bright future on the short term, but on the long run, it will lose good people. And then it's question what will happen. Then there is risk. Prince, what makes some excellent leaders fail? They start well but do not end well because they disconnect from the reality. Whatever it is, corporate, business, sports, whatever it is, once you are disconnected from the reality, from your people on the ground, you are just a puppet in hands of your associates, and they are creating you the reality. And this is where you fall down. A leader who does not take team advice from the team but blames the team, that's not the leader. That's the person whose competencies and skills will soon come under the spotlight of management, and it is just a matter of time. Amna is asking the question which we more or less addressed, how to balance clarity, prioritization, and action while empowering people. We spoke about it already. So you have to communicate very clearly to the people. Does culture affect leadership styles? Yes, big time. And again, I will type here as a reply to Mohammed Salim, I will type Hofstede's dimensions of culture. Please study it. You will understand. You have even very good country comparison tools to understand how to cope with those international teams. What leadership skills, Abdul is asking? Well, difficult. I try to give you a roadmap. We cannot fully predict, but definitely we should have people skills. And more goes on soft component, as we spoke, to embrace the future and to actually accept the pace of changes, and also to handle the people, to communicate effectively, to communicate clearly. All this is critical for the future. This is at the same time answer to Abibola's question about complex projects. What principles are most effective? Again, setting up timelines, expectations, handling people, and building team atmosphere. Great leader with compromising ethics depends, depends what kind of ethical breach it is. I am not fan of ethical breaches in business, life, or politics. This is why I told you religious leaders are great leaders, because they were super ethical. And basically, a result done unethically can always backfire you. Please keep it in mind. Gen Z, new generation, I think handling generation gap between Gen Z and traditional managers would require a special session of hour and a half. So I would now stop here and just say thank you very much, everyone, for wonderful session, for wonderful participation, for amazing discussions, amazing contributions, amazing questions. Don't forget to fill up the questionnaire to tell me about your happiness, and also last but not least, if you would like to stay in touch, please connect through London Premier Center. They are offering variety of the things, and I would like to send you from the bottom of my heart big thanks. I really enjoyed our discussion and looking forward to staying in touch with you. Now, Ilona, if you don't mind, over to you for your final closing words. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And first of all, Dr. Marko, I wanted to say thank you to you for such a great session. I'm sure we're all leaving today with practical strategies and confidence and just very valuable insights to continue our leadership journey. So thank you very much. I want to say thank you to everyone who attended today and has been so active. It's been a pleasure to just witness everything. We will be sending over the certificates of attendance via email. Also, we will be posting the recording of the session later on LinkedIn and YouTube, so keep an eye on that. If you're interested in more training opportunities or webinars or workshops, any sort of trainings, also keep an eye on our official LPC website, Instagram, LinkedIn, just any social media. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us anytime. We will be very happy to help. And on this note, thank you once again and hope everyone has a wonderful day. Thank you.